The vast chamber of the Galactic Council lay in complete silence. Thousands of beings from countless worlds filled the seats in tense anticipation. Light from far-off stars streamed through towering windows, casting sharp, endless shadows across the polished floor. Ambassador Keth of the Alaran people advanced slowly toward the chamber's center. Under the blazing lights, his blue skin appeared unnaturally pale. His fingers trembled as they gripped the speech notes. High above, General Vex occupied his special seat overlooking the hall. The Zelkarian warlord dwarfed most beings present. His crimson armor glimmered under the lights as his massive forearms rested casually along the chair's metallic arms. Behind him, in precise rows, his officers sat clad in identical red plating. Their eyes held the dullness of boredom. Conquerors of 17 star systems, what could a timid, peaceful race possibly reveal that might concern them? Keth cleared his throat. The single sound echoed off the chamber walls. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," he began, his voice low but unwavering. "I stand before you today with a warning about a world known as Earth." Uneasy motions rippled through the audience. Earth, a forgotten speck on the outer rim, hardly worthy of galactic attention. Few species even recognized its name. Its crude transmissions betrayed a fractured people, a civilization waging wars with outdated weapons, one that had barely stumbled beyond its own moon. 50 years ago, Keth continued steadily, my people launched 3 exploration vessels toward the Earth system. We intended peaceful contact with humanity. These ships were the pride of our fleet, crewed by our finest explorers. He hesitated. None returned. From above, General Vex erupted in thunderous laughter, the sound booming across the hall. "Ambassador Keth," he roared, voice dripping with scorn. "Are you claiming humans destroyed your ships? Creatures still dependent on chemical rockets and primitive ballistics?" Laughter rippled through parts of the assembly. The Alarans, after all, were famed as scholars and diplomats, never warriors. Their vessels carried sensors, not cannons. Keth's features tightened with pain, but he pressed onward. "We dispatched additional ships to learn the fate of the first. Their orders were strict. Approach cautiously, observe only, remain unseen." He scanned the gathering, his voice dropping. What they witnessed sent them fleeing home in terror. Counselor Zara of the vegan system, tall and graceful, leaned forward. "What exactly did they see?" she asked, curiosity mingling with disbelief. "Human ships," Keth answered grimly, "but not the crude craft their broadcasts would suggest. These moved in ways beyond understanding, appearing, vanishing, sensors struggling even to mark them. And they were numerous, hidden across their solar system." The hall fell into stillness. Even General Vex's grin faltered. Keth continued relentlessly. "We are not alone in this experience. I have spoken with envoys from 6 other species. Each sent ships to Earth, each suffered losses or crews so shaken they refused to speak of what they found." He produced a small device, pressing a control. Holographic images burst into the air above the council floor. The first showed a scorched fragment of metal adrift in darkness. "This wreckage," Keth said, "is all that remains of a Koran battlecruiser." The Korans are no strangers to war. Their vessels boast armor and firepower rivaling any in this chamber. Yet this craft was discovered lifeless near Earth's moon. No survivors. The next image materialized. A vessel perfectly intact, yet eerily deserted. "A Nexari science ship," Keth explained. "Found orbiting Earth, every crew member vanished. Its logs record no battle, no breach. One moment they were aboard. The next, emptiness." General Vex rose to his full, towering height, his shadow stretching across the floor. "Accidents," he declared. "Space claims ships every cycle. 7 species prove nothing." 7 species, Keth shot back, "all near the same world, all without explanation." He shook his head firmly. "This is no accident, General. This is a pattern." Dr. Yule of the Science Division stepped forward, a small gray figure with eyes too large for his narrow face. "Ambassador," he squeaked in a high, tremulous tone, "our long-range observations show Earth as barely industrial. Fossil fuels, projectile weapons, sublight ships, hardly a threat to advanced civilizations. How could such a people possibly endanger anyone?" Keth's shoulders sagged with exhaustion. "I cannot explain it, Doctor," he admitted softly. I can only recount the facts. Every civilization that has approached Earth too closely has paid the price. Some lose ships, some crews, others return changed. Crews unwilling to speak, eyes filled with things they refused to name. He activated the next sequence of images. Keth pressed his device again. This time, a recording filled the chamber. The voice was rough, shaking with terror. It spoke in Altarian, but the Council's translators rendered it clear to all. Command, this is Captain Thex of the exploration vessel Seeker. We have observed the human homeworld as ordered, but something is wrong here. Very wrong. Our sensors detect massive structures beneath their cities, energy readings that defy explanation. And the humans? They know we're here. They're watching us. Request immediate permission to leave this system. The transmission broke into static. Then came a second voice. Seeker, request denied. Continue mission, Thex returned, now panicked. Command, they're coming. Human ships, but not like anything in their broadcasts. They move as if alive. We're leaving the system now. Do not send anyone else here. Do not. The message ended in dead silence. The great hall remained still. At last, General Vex rumbled, even if real, it proves nothing. Perhaps Captain Thex panicked over shadows. General, Keth replied, his voice rising, I've spoken truth here today. 7 species approached Earth. 7 suffered losses. The humans may look primitive, but appearances deceive. I beg you heed this warning. Vex glanced at his officers. They wore the same amused smirks. The Zelkarian Empire had never faced defeat. Their weapons shattered worlds. Their shields stopped suns. What threat could one backward planet offer? Ambassador Keth, Vex said coldly, we value your concern. But we act on facts, not fear. Earth sits in a strategic outer rim position. Its resources will serve the galaxy under proper control. His gaze fell on the small, trembling figure below. The Empire will investigate, with force enough to crush any surprise. Keth's shoulders slumped. He had failed. General, whatever humans truly are, they're not what they appear. But Vex had turned away, conferring with his commanders. Plans formed. Fleets would assemble. Earth would fall. When the council dispersed, Keth stood alone. The warning given, whether anyone listened no longer lay with him. Above, Vex smiled. Within a month, Earth would kneel. 3 weeks later, the Zelkarian war fleet dropped from hyperspace on the solar system's edge. 3,000 warships filled the void. The smallest dwarfed Earth's tallest towers. The flagship Dominator, so massive it generated its own gravity field, led the armada. On its bridge, General Vex stared at the blue-green world glowing on the main view screen. From this distance, Earth looked tranquil. White storms curled across green continents. City lights glittered along the night side. Scan the system, Vex ordered. Commander Krall, 6 arms flying over controls, reported, primitive stations in orbit, several small ships present, nothing threatening. Exactly as Vex expected. They're military? Ground-based missiles, Krall replied. Nuclear warheads, archaic designs, fighter craft burning chemical fuel. No energy shields, no plasma weapons. He paused. Their most advanced ships are unarmed transports. Perfect. Vex's tone dripped satisfaction. Send standard surrender demands. Across every human frequency, the message blared, People of Earth, you are subjects of the Zelkarian Empire. Surrender now and live. Resist, and your cities burn. Beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a buried command center, Dr. Lisa Grant watched data cascade across glowing screens. Captain Jake Morrison, tall, uniform unmarked by any nation's emblem, stood beside her. Imperial Protocol, Lisa noted grimly. Same script the Corans used 5 years back. Jake nodded. And the Nexari before them. They never learn. He hit a switch. All stations, this is command. Operation Mousetrap is active. Repeat, Mousetrap is active. Across Earth, hidden facilities roared to life. In ordinary office buildings, weapons deployed. Beneath warehouses, fighters armed. Deep under cities, civilians moved through tunnels in disciplined silence. Above, the first response launched. Aging nuclear missiles clawed toward space. Zelkarian ships vaporized them easily. Fighters rose, engines trailing smoke. Vex sneered. Pathetic. Wipe them out. Prepare planetary bombardment. Zelkarian beams rained from orbit, tearing through bases, governments, command centers. Yet something was wrong. The explosions were small. Casualties far too few. "Sir," Krall said sharply, "city's nearly empty. Populations moved en masse. Destinations unknown. Underground bunkers." Vex dismissed. "Cowards hiding like insects. Continue bombardment." High above, Lieutenant Kate Sullivan drove her fighter into a vertical climb, dragging Zelkarian interceptors into the upper atmosphere. Her jet, ancient beside alien craft, moved with unnatural precision. 5 more human fighters followed. Voices calm, movements surgical. "Lead 3. 2 bogeys on your 6, her wingman warned. "Copy. Lead 2. Break left in 3, 2, 1. The squadron scattered. Not fleeing, but weaving, baiting the aliens deeper into sky and trap. The Zelkarian pilots, arrogant. It defied everything the Zelkarians believed about human capability. The primitive fighters suddenly moved with impossible speed and agility. Their weapons, disguised as simple ballistic guns, unleashed energy bolts that shredded Zelkarian armor like paper. In seconds, all 3 alien interceptors were gone. On the ground, Major Tom Bradley directed Denver's evacuation, but this was no chaotic retreat. Civilians moved in perfect order through hidden tunnels, while military hardware rolled out from disguised positions across the city. Anti-air batteries, long camouflaged as water towers and cell masts, powered up in unison. "Sector 7 clear," Tom reported over comms. "Civilians secure. Defense grid active." Similar messages came from New York, London, Tokyo, Moscow. Every major city reporting complete evacuations and live defenses. Humanity had been ready. In orbit, the true battle erupted. On the Dominator's bridge, General Vex's expression darkened as his sensors lit up with new contacts. Ships emerging across the solar system, appearing from nowhere, as though materializing out of the void itself. "Where are they coming from?" Vex barked. "Unknown," Commander Krall replied, unease in his voice. "Stealth tech, sir. Our systems can't track them properly." These ships bore no resemblance to the primitive craft Earth had shown the galaxy. They were dark, sharp, predatory, and merciless. Every shot they fired killed a Zelkarian ship. Aboard the human vessel Phantom, Commander Alex Rivera stood calm amid controlled chaos. "Target engines," he ordered. "We want prisoners, not wreckage." One shot from the Phantom crippled a Zelkarian destroyer. Boarding pods slammed into its hull, releasing armored soldiers inside. Similar strikes unfolded everywhere. The hunters had become the hunted. On the Dominator, alarms shrieked. Damage reports poured in by the second. Vex stared at the tactical feed in disbelief. 300 ships lost, in under an hour. "Impossible," he muttered. "They were supposed to be primitive. Where did these ships come from? Where did they learn to fight like this?" Krall turned, fear on his features. "Sir, incoming transmission from the human government." "Put it through," Vex snapped. The main display lit with the face of an older man. Gray hair, kind eyes, but something beneath them like iron. "General Vex," the man said evenly. "I am Director Peter Caney, Earth Defense Council. We should talk," Vex managed. You were ready for us. This whole system is a trap." Director Caney's smile carried no warmth. "General, you were warned. The Council tried to tell you, but the Empire never listens, does it? All around the solar system, human ships carved through the Zelkarian fleet like wolves through sheep. For the first time in history, the Zelkarians were not hunters. They were prey. Earth's reputation wasn't fear-mongering. It was written in the wreckage of every species that made the same mistake Vex made today. The trap had been waiting for centuries. Vex slammed the comm offline. "Launch all ground forces," he roared. "Take their cities. Use the humans as shields." Thousands of Zelkarian dropships screamed toward Earth. Each carried 50 armored soldiers, weapons hot enough to melt steel, shields impervious to bullets. Vex was sure, on the ground, victory would be his. The first wave hit New York. Troops stormed out expecting terrified civilians. Instead, they found silence. The city stood intact, but empty. Captain Z led his squad through Times Square. The massive screen still ran advertisements, but no cars moved, no humans appeared. "Command," Z radioed. "The city's abandoned." "Impossible," came the reply. "Sensors showed millions here hours ago." Z scanned the ghost city. "They're gone now, sir." Identical reports came from London, Tokyo, Moscow. Every major city evacuated with impossible precision. Above, Vex faced catastrophe. More human ships kept phasing into existence, moving like living shadows. Zelkarian weapons often passed through them harmlessly, as though striking ghosts. On the Dominator, Commander Alex Rivera led boarding teams through the corridors. Human soldiers advanced like they'd studied the ship's schematics for years. Every step was calculated, every breach precise. Alex wore simple armor compared to Zelkarian tech, yet he moved faster, hit harder, killed quicker. "Sir," one soldier called, "found the main computer core." "Download everything," Alex ordered. "Ship designs, fleet deployments, codes, all of it." Zelkarian defenders fought back desperately. It didn't matter. Humans fought like this battle had been rehearsed for decades. Perfect shots. Perfect tactics. On the bridge, Vex heard reports that made his blood run cold. Humans aboard 12 capital ships, stealing data, seizing prisoners. "How?" he shouted. "How do they know our ships?" At his station, Crawl trembled. "Sir, human weapons share our energy signatures. Modified, improved. It's as if they studied our tech, then perfected it. On Earth's surface, Captain." Z's squad uncovered worse news. Beneath what looked like an ordinary office building lay a colossal military facility, humming with technology beyond anything Zelkara possessed. Inside, a thin, gray-haired man awaited calmly. Dr. Ben Clark. He showed no fear as soldiers encircled him. "Welcome to Earth," he said in flawless Zelkarian. "We've been expecting you." Captain Z leveled his weapon. "You will come with us as prisoner." Dr. Clark smiled faintly. Captain Z, 34th Assault Division, born on Zelkara Prime, conqueror of the vegan colonies. Wife's name, Sula. 2 children, ages 12 and 8. The alien captain froze in disbelief. "How do you know this?" he demanded. "We know everything about your people," Dr. Clark replied evenly. "We have studied you for 4 decades, ever since your first scout ships entered our system." Around the lab, Z saw displays filled with Zelkarian ship schematics, weapon data, and military doctrines. But these weren't mere copies. Every design had been improved, refined, made deadlier. "This can't be real," Captain Z muttered. "Your race is backward. You barely reach space." Dr. Clark stepped to a massive window overlooking a sprawling underground metropolis. Thousands of humans worked amid towering engines and alien-looking vessels resting in cavernous hangars. "What you witness on the surface," Clark said, "is what we allow the galaxy to believe. But this..." He gestured to the frenetic scene below. "This is our reality. We've been waiting for invaders like you for a very long time." Above, the slaughter of the Zelkarian fleet worsened. Human warships appeared and vanished like specters, striking with impossible accuracy, then fading before any counterattack landed. Commander Lisa Hayes drove her fighter straight through enemy ranks. Her craft bore no resemblance to Earth's primitive exports. It blurred faster than light in bursts, slipping through solid matter unharmed. "Gold leader to all wings," she radioed. "Prioritize command vessels. Officers alive, ships intact." The human squadrons moved like a single organism, exchanging no words, yet coordinating flawlessly. Every shot struck true. Every maneuver dismantled the enemy with surgical precision. General Vex watched his proud armada unravel against an enemy that defied logic. Signal the home fleet, he barked. We need reinforcements. Sir, Commander Craw said grimly, our signals are jammed. No transmission escapes this system. Vex turned toward his tactical projection. Crimson icons marked destroyed or crippled ships everywhere. 6 hours into the battle, nearly half his strength lay in ruins. This wasn't combat. It was butchery. On Earth, Major Tom Bradley emerged from a hidden command post beneath Denver's ruins. The Zelkarian troopers who had landed there now sat disarmed and captive, weapons confiscated, armor powered down. Command, this is Sector 7, Tom reported. All hostiles secured. 0 human losses. Identical messages came from London, Tokyo, Moscow. Everywhere the aliens had descended. Entire battalions captured intact. Entire cities reclaimed without civilian deaths. Deep beneath the Rockies, Director Peter Caney observed the campaign's progress on colossal displays, mapping every engagement in space. Sir, an aide said, the Zelkarian fleet attempts to withdraw. Orders? Caney's expression hardened. Not yet. They must understand fully. This ends here. He opened a channel to General Vex. The alien leader's face appeared, fear and exhaustion etched deep. General, Caney said softly. You ready to listen? Vex surveyed his shattered bridge, crew dying around him, ships burning beyond his viewport. What are you? He rasped. We are the result, Caney answered, of giving the galaxy's most dangerous predators 40,000 years to prepare for war. We are what emerges when you pen warriors on one planet and ignore every warning left by those who faced us before. The truth slammed into Vex like a railgun strike. Earth wasn't a lucky backwater. It was a snare woven over centuries, awaiting his empire's arrogance. Defeated, Vex ordered the retreat. What fragments of his armada remained swung toward hyperspace, only to find Earth's reach extended far beyond its orbit. Mining outposts across the belt split apart, revealing fortress guns. Ancient satellites near Jupiter unfolded, disgorging colossal beam weapons. Even frozen moons cracked open, shedding ice to expose the armored hulls of hidden bases beneath. The Empire had sent ships here 20 years ago. What did their survivors report? Vex's eyes widened as the truth began to dawn. They said Earth was far more dangerous than it appeared. And when the Nexari came 15 years ago, or the Altarians a decade ago, what did they tell you? The general's voice was barely a whisper. That Earth was a trap. Alex nodded grimly. Every species that reaches us teaches us something new. The Korans gave us energy shield tech. The Nexari revealed how to phase through matter. The Altarians taught us advanced sensors. He gestured toward the human ships outside. Each invasion made us stronger, but why? Vex asked, desperation creeping into his voice. Why do this? Why not join the galactic community peacefully? Because, Alex replied, the galactic community keeps trying to conquer us. You're the 7th species to attempt Earth's invasion. Each time, we hope it will be the last. Each time, we're disappointed. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Director Peter Caney walked through a facility almost no one on Earth knew existed. Inside a hollowed-out mountain, thousands of scientists studied captured alien technology, improving it piece by piece. Weapons capable of defeating any known species were designed here. Ships blending the best ideas from dozens of civilizations were built in secret hangars. Kane paused before a massive viewing window looking out over an enormous underwater hangar. Hundreds of ships floated in artificial atmosphere, waiting silently. They looked nothing like the primitive craft Earth displayed to the galaxy. These were predators forged for war. Sir, an aide called out, we're receiving surrender signals from the remaining Zelkarian ships. Kane nodded calmly. Accept them. Move all prisoners to containment. Treat them well. And the general? General Vex will remain our guest, Kane said coldly. We have much to learn from him, and about the empire he serves. Night fell over Earth. Evacuated cities filled again with returning civilians. Children played while parents watched news of humanity's victory. But underground, in secret bases and hidden facilities, scientists dissected Zelkarian technology, Engineers designed new fleets, and strategists prepared for the next invader. Because there would be a next time. There always was. 6 months later, General Vex sat in a comfortable room deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. White walls, soft music, no cell, yet no freedom either. Human guards stood outside. Dr. Lisa Grant entered carrying a tablet and tea. She had questioned Vex for weeks, learning his empire's secrets while offering fragments of Earth's truth. "General," she said, sitting across from him, "today I will tell you everything about my species." Vex looked up, weary and defeated. The proud warrior who once commanded 3,000 ships now seemed hollow. "What more is there? You've already shown me humans are not what they seem." Lisa activated her tablet. A star map appeared, one no alien would recognize. "This shows the galaxy 50,000 years ago. See this sector here?" She pointed near the galactic core. That was humanity's original homeworld, not Earth. Vex leaned forward, shocked. Impossible. Records show humans always lived on Earth. "Your records are wrong," Lisa said softly. "We weren't born there. We were sent there." She revealed images of colossal space battles fought long ago. Humanity once controlled 12 star systems, spreading fast, learning from every species we met. "What happened?" Vex asked. "We met the architects," Lisa answered. An ancient race ruling the galaxy for millions of years, the architects saw humanity as a threat to their perfect order. We learned too quickly, adapted too well, expanded too far. Another image appeared, Earth as a lifeless rock orbiting a dying star. The architects chose not to exterminate us, too many species would object. Instead, they made Earth a prison. Vex stared, horrified. They transformed that dead world into paradise, moved all surviving humans there, stripped away our technology, erased our history, then abandoned us to destroy ourselves slowly. "But you didn't die out," Vex whispered. "No," Lisa said with a cold smile. "We adapted. We turned their prison into our fortress. A hologram filled the room. Earth's solar system as it truly was. Hidden bases across planets, weapon platforms disguised as asteroids, entire moons hollowed into arsenals. Every invader taught us something," Lisa explained. Corans gave energy weapons, Nexari, advanced sensors, Altarians, starship design. Every attack made us stronger, but why so many invasions? Vex demanded. "Because the architects programmed them," Lisa said. "Before leaving the galaxy 30,000 years ago, they implanted compulsions into dozens of species. Upon reaching spaceflight, each would feel driven to conquer Earth. The hologram shifted, showing centuries of empires unknowingly marching toward the same trap. Our destiny." "Was engineered?" Vex whispered. "Not all of it," Lisa replied. "But your expansionist drive, your hunger to find Earth, that was written into your DNA millennia ago." Vex buried his face in his hands. Everything his people believed, a lie. "The architects vanished long ago," Lisa said. "Their programming lingers, but it's failing. Now what?" Vex asked bitterly. Lisa gazed out a window where human children played above secret military complexes. "Now," she said, "your invasion was the final test. Survive it and humanity leaves Earth at last. We passed. For the first time in 50,000 years, we are free." Colonel Ray Parker entered, documents in hand. "General Vex, in 1 week, a human delegation will address the Galactic Council, announcing our intent to join as equals." "The Council will never allow it," Vex said hoarsely. "They fear you after what you did to my fleet." Ray smiled faintly. "After what we did, no one will dare oppose us." Lisa activated one final hologram. Human starships launching from Earth over the last decade, colonizing distant worlds, contacting peaceful civilizations. "The galaxy thought Earth was our prison," she said. "It was our school. 50,000 years of war, science, survival. Now our education is complete." She faced Vex coldly. 7 species tried to conquer us. Instead, you prepared us to conquer the galaxy." Days later, Ambassador K of the Altarians received a transmission with trembling hands. Humanity announces its intention to join the Galactic Council as a free civilization seeking peace, trade, and cooperation. Signed, Director Peter Caney, United Earth Government. Across the stars, similar messages spread. Human ships arrived at dozens of systems. Diplomats, not conquerors. On Earth, Dr. Lisa Grant stood aboard humanity's newest starship, the Enterprise. Watching the blue-white planet fade behind. Sad to leave? Captain Jake Morrison asked beside her. Lisa shook her head. Earth will always be home. But it was never meant to be our cage. The Enterprise jumped to faster-than-light speed. Behind it, fleets of human ships launched from hidden bases. Humanity was returning to the stars, no longer prisoners, no longer students. This time, they came as teachers.